What's groovy, y'all? I'm Danye.
And I'm Marcia, and this is the
Hey Sissy podcast.
Hey Sissy, go Sissy. Hey Sissy, go Sissy. Hey Sissy.
Peace to the haters.
Go,
Bye,
sissy.
see you later.
Hey,
You my
sissy.
road dog,
Go,
sis,
sissy.
we are greater.
Hey,
Holding
sissy.
it down, and
Go,
you know we stay
sissy.
true.
Hey,
Fam
sissy.
to the end
Go,
is how
sissy.
we do.
Hey,
Fam to the
sissy.
end
Go,
is how
sissy.
we do.
Hey,
Fam to the
sissy.
end
Go,
is how we
sissy.
do.
Hey Sissy, go Sissy. Hey Sissy, go Sissy. Go, 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 go.
We the bomb, let's go, sissy.
Hey.
We the bomb, let's go, sissy.
Hey.
We the bomb, let's go, sissy.
Hey.
Hi y'all, how y'all doing? This is a bonus episode of the podcast, and for today we have our lovely guest, Miss Tiffany Bynum.
Hey, y'all.
Tiffany is a licensed professional counselor and the owner of Tender Devotions Counseling Services. Got it right, it was a struggle, I got it. And we've invited her on the podcast today to talk about mental health for the holidays.
Oh, wait, that's Elmo's world. I mean, jingle bells. That was Elmo.
You want to leave that in?
We can leave that in now.
So we know that the holidays can be a stressful time for some people, depending on if you do have to deal with family or if you've lost family or a loved one. So we want to just share some tips about what to do. And this episode idea was from my therapist. Shout out to her for this wonderful episode suggestion. Thank you. So Miss Tiffany, first question for you is, what are the main mental health issues surrounding the holidays?
I would have to say depression and anxiety. Because, depression comes, of course, it's nothing but family that you see on the commercials. Like the media is all about happiness, friends, family, getting together, and some people don't have that. So then anxiety, like, okay, how am I gonna afford this? Can I get gifts for my kids, or what am I gonna do? It's just a lot of emotions and a lot of iffy stuff. Like, okay, do I want to go this way? Do I want to put up a tree? What color tree am I gonna do? It's all kinds of things. So anxiety and depression would be your main one.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting what you said about the TV, because I love Christmas holidays. Like, I'm one of those people. I don't decorate or anything. I just love the energy around the holiday.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that seeing commercials would like trigger some
Nothing
depression.
but family, friends, getting together, happiness, and everybody's not always happy during the holidays, so it can be difficult.
Yes. Social media too. That's all very good.
All the marketing, all the social stuff is all about like happiness, and sometimes people aren't always there, so it's difficult.
And it's also true about the anxiety thing, because everybody feels that pressure,
Yeah.
especially with the parents and it comes to their kids. Because, I feel like they have this idea, parents may have this idea that they want their kids to feel a certain way about them. So they feel like they have to get their kids what they want for Christmas. So because of that, they put that pressure on themselves to get their kids everything that they want, and it can bring a lot of stress, like you said, anxiety on them doing it.
So yeah, those are both really great points about the different like anxiety and depression on the holidays, especially for like the parents. And like you said, parents feel a lot of pressure to make Christmas this big ordeal for their kids, whether they have the money or not. So the next one is, okay, so I guess you went into this, but other than depression and anxiety, what are some other reasons that make the holidays like a really difficult time for some people?
Grief, loss of a loved one. Now you have a new normal, and now I have to figure out how do I function in the holidays with this new normal. So it could be a parent, it could be a friend, it could be a significant other, it could be a child. Any type of grief really, or abandonment really, can cause these things as well.
Yeah. So then I guess that goes into one of our questions is, what should people who've lost a parent or a close loved one do to cope around the holidays or prepare before the holidays?
So I lost my father 3 years ago. So the first year for all the holidays and Thanksgiving and Christmas was very difficult. Like it just, we were kind of in an awkward space, like what do we do now? Like, do we do our normal transition or our normal traditions where we go to Louisiana for Thanksgiving and spend time there? Do we go to our family friend's house? All of their family's gonna be there, but we're missing somebody, So it was very, very awkward. And so we had to come up with like I said, a new normal. We just decided to do Thanksgiving and Christmas at either my house or my parents' house, which we never spend the holidays at our own houses. So it's a bit awkward, but it's possible. It just really depends on your support system. Because even then we had other people reaching out to us, like family and friends. Hey, do you want to come spend Thanksgiving with us, or do you want to come spend Christmas? Just because they know that there's that hole. Yeah, so it's good to have a support system. Really pull on them. Don't isolate yourself. Really pull on your support system when you lose a loved one, especially for the holidays. Yeah,
that's a good point. Because a lot of people probably do try to avoid doing any holiday type stuff because it would make them think of that lost person.
I don't know, but I think sometimes we try to push that person out of the back of our mind in the sense of trying to forget.
Yeah, so that it doesn't hurt as much.
But I think it would be good sometimes to maybe incorporate that person, even though they're not there physically. Maybe try to incorporate them in some kind of aspect.
Yeah.
That way, you know, you still can like remember them and still, you know, love them even though they're not physically there with you.
So what we did was we made 2 dishes of his favorite food.
Okay.
Yeah, so I made the greens, and then my mom made the what is that? What is brisket?
Okay.
Yes, he loves brisket. So that's what we did. You know, just to kind of be like, okay, he's here. You know, I used his recipe. So yeah, and then you know, it depends on each family. We talked about it and how each other felt like when we were at the table. So how are you feeling that Dad's not here? Or how are you feeling? You know, what's your thoughts? And so it helped. Doesn't make it easier, but it helps.
So what did y'all do last year? Since you said it's been 3 years, so what did you do last year?
So we just continued that tradition.
So
we
you
just
started
went
a new
ahead and
tradition.
started that new tradition, and so we just do it at one of our houses now, and incorporate something that he likes to eat as well. So
That's good.
yeah.
So what should someone do if they've lost like a spouse?
Well, see what my mom kind of went through. You know, her and my dad were together for 42 years. So really be around some people. Like, again, I can't stress enough, don't isolate yourself. You can take some time to yourself, but don't isolate. Like, really prepare yourself. Okay, this is coming up. You kind of have the upper hand because you know the holidays are coming. Like, every year, we know the holidays are coming. So every year, you're going to have this remembrance of, my loved one is not here while I watch everybody else have a good time with their significant other. So since you know it, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself by, maybe you need to look through some books and just kind of get all your crying out. Or some picture books, or, you know, whatever. Think about some memories, watch some videos, get it out so that when you are amongst family, you're okay.
I think it was important what you said to communicate and talk about it.
Yes.
I think a lot of times people try to suppress those thoughts, those feelings, to feel like that's their way of coping or getting through the holiday. But it is important to talk about it and get it out of you. So, like you said, especially do that beforehand so you don't have all this flood of emotion come out.
Just like, well, what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong with him?
But sometimes if all that emotion comes up, you can neglect other family or your kids or somebody else because you are not handling accordingly.
Correct.
So, yeah.
You smart, Danielle.
No,
She
thanks.
is.
Okay, so then what are some other ways people can prepare for the holidays mentally, as far as like dealing with family if they don't, you know, most people try to avoid their family all year long, except for when it comes to the holidays. Then they feel obligated to be around them. So what's the one way they can prepare for that mentally if they're choosing not to? You know, they're like forcing themselves to spend the holidays with their family. So how can they prepare mentally for...
Meaning prepare themselves to be around people they don't want to be around?
Yeah, because, you know, some people, they avoid family all year round, but they feel obligated to spend Thanksgiving with their mom's side of the family because, you know, their mom begs them. But they know they're going to hate it. So how can they prepare for that mentally?
Set a time frame. If you know that this is a toxic environment for you, but you're going just to appease, be there for like maybe like an hour or two. This is my time frame. I've made my appearance. Because your peace of mind is what you need to keep. So don't place yourself in something toxic if you know you're not going to have your peace of mind. So if you have to place yourself there, time frame.
Makes sense. So that kind of goes with the next question. Then, is it okay for people to opt out of spending the holidays with their family?
Yes, it is. I mean, as hard as it can be, if something is too toxic or something is just very dysfunctional for you, and it pulls on the energy that you have, and it just brings you down, there's no need for you to put yourself there, even if it is family. It's easier said than done, but when are you going to take care of self and make sure that mentally I'm okay to even make it through the holidays? So if you want to go spend time with family, friends, instead of family, friends become family too.
Yeah.
So.
And I think one thing that people could do is like, so for instance, if you just want to spend time with your mom or your dad or someone like that, just spend time with them before.
Yeah, pick some days. Hey, we're gonna hang out on New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve or the day before Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. You know, pick a day.
Yeah, because it's like most people like their parents or their immediate siblings. It's the extras, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins that you really want to avoid. So it's like, yeah.
I think another thing is to get off of social media during the holidays.
Yeah.
Cause like you said, when it comes to the advertisements and stuff, you see all of that. You can see it on social media too.
You do.
So you're kind of putting yourself in that position to kind of affect your mentality by doing that. So I think just, get off of social media and find an alternative, something else to do to kind of distract your mind, to not focus solely on what you may not have or what you're missing.
Right, remind yourself that social media, people put their best on social media. People put what they want you to believe on social media. I'm going to give you my representative, but really over here, everybody's screaming in this house that we having a hot mess of a Christmas time, but I'm still smiling. So we really don't know what's going on behind closed doors anyway. So yeah, remind yourself, okay, they may not even be having a good time. It's what they want you to see.
Right.
So.
And I think it's funny, on November 1st, people started posting family Christmas photos. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And so it's like, if you give into that, then you feel that pressure to also want to have this perfect family photo and want to post it. Because you're like, oh, well, now it's time. I got to get on it. No, you don't.
You don't. Like, why have to do what you do?
You don't. Live what's best for you.
Exactly.
I will video call and tell everybody hi.
Hey, I'm there.
Everybody have a good day. Ooh, happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. I can't make it, but
Like, where you at? Not there. Y'all have fun.
So when you said preparing for the holidays, stick to a normal routine as much as possible. You don't have to really verge, out of doing something different if you're not used to doing it. Just kind of stick to the normal routine so that you don't feel overwhelmed and frustrated. Get enough sleep or rest. Because we know during the holidays people are going. I'm irritable when I don't get sleep. So I don't know about you guys, but get enough sleep. Take time for yourself. Like I said earlier, don't isolate, but take time for yourself. To kind of just sit back and say, okay, I'm ready. Eat and drink in moderation. And don't drink alcohol if you're feeling down.
Oh, yes.
Makes us drunk dial people, cry uncontrollably, become angry, just depressing. Yeah, it is a depressant. So,
and that's funny because when people are feeling down, that's the first thing they think.
They drink. Yes, I'm gonna say we do drink. Or you eat. Emotional eating. They get exercise, even if it's just a short walk into the mailbox or down to the corner and back, just to kind of move yourself and not stay, just still and kind of have your time to yourself and your thoughts as well. Make a to-do list and keep it simple. So you can remember to do the things and keep it simple so you're not frustrated and feeling overwhelmed.
Okay. Going back to the opting out of spending the holidays with your family, a lot of people have a hard time like standing up for themselves. So what are there any like words you would suggest people use when they're telling like a parent or someone like, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving? Because you say, hey, I think I'm gonna skip it, and mamas be like, but why, baby? You say, I just don't wanna, and they be like, but baby, I really want. Like, what is something that people can say to like really just hone in I don't have the energy to spend with family if they can't really blatantly say it like that to a parent or someone.
I mean, it would honestly depend on one, that relationship with the person that they're telling this to, and how you think they will receive it. You will know better of how they take things. So you saying, I just don't want to spend time with you, you know, that if you think they'll be like in their feelings and be very upset, let's not say it that way. You know, like this year I want to try something new. I'm going to go to my girlfriend's house. I'm going to go to my boyfriend's house. I'm going to go to a friend's house. I want to try something new, Mom, and see if I like it. And maybe next year or Christmas I'll come and hang out with y'all for a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Instead of me like, I ain't gonna be there, y'all be alright.
Yeah, no. That's fighting words.
Yeah, because I know for me, because I have like a kind of weird family structure, I'm actually going to my dad's house for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And so people are like, oh, and if I tell people, oh, I can't make it, why not? It's like, because I'm going here instead. And people feel, you know, everyone wants to be together during the holidays, so they feel kind of some type of way. I don't know what kind of way, but if you be like, no, I'm not spending it with y'all, they get upset.
Yeah.
I'm like real upset. Like, how dare you not spend the holidays with me?
I think one thing is that we put too much pressure on the holidays.
You do.
I feel like we make the holidays mandatory. If I spend time, we should take the time out to spend time with our family throughout the year. We shouldn't just put family time on 2 times out of the year. Because if I know that I spend time with you later on, I won't feel so much pressure to spend time with you on Thanksgiving and or on Christmas, because I know I spent enough time with you in other times of the year. So for you, if you spend some good quality time with those people who are kind of pressuring you to come, then you shouldn't, because you know you spend time with them and that you're going to spend more time with them, you know, prayerfully that, you know, they're still here. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important too, to spend time with people and not have that pressure of just only spending time on the holidays.
I agree. I mean, that's along with like, just set expectations or reasonable expectations during the holidays as far as like goals and where you're going to do, what you're going to do with cooking, spending time, all that. Reasonable expectations for yourself.
And so I don't feel so bad about going to like Granny's house for Thanksgiving, because I see her all the time, and I see the other family members, and I don't feel so bad about going to my mama's house for Thanksgiving, because we started this thing this year where we started doing birthday celebrations, like, because a lot of us have major birthdays in May and October, so we started doing those family celebrations. So basically we've made every birthday a holiday, so I can skip this Thanksgiving and be okay. So I think you made a good point about people only wait till the holidays when they see their family, which if you are actively avoiding your family, then you're just adding more pressure on the holidays. Like if you're actively avoiding them all year long, just keep that same energy come Thanksgiving.
Exactly. That's what's the need. I haven't seen you now. Why don't you see you for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
And do you think one of the reasons people feel like anxiety about spending time with family is because they have those family members that will ask like intrusive questions or
definitely like
judgy?
Like, why aren't you married? I get it all the time.
So,
yes.
To piggyback off of that, how do you handle those questions that you don't like want to answer, don't feel comfortable answering, or don't want to deal with? How would you go about handling that?
I mean, it really depends on like the relationship and the tone and the atmosphere of where you are when they ask that question. Do you have a relationship with your aunt to where you want to tell her your business? Or
Of course not.
Okay. So it's like, oh, when I find out, I'm gonna let you know. You know, but in a nice, jokingly, loving manner, not that like you getting on my nerves type attitude. It can be difficult because you find yourself cornered and it's like, this is why I don't come here. Because y'all are always questioning me. So just if you know that's how they are, kind of prepare yourself like, okay, these are gonna be my responses to these questions that I know they're gonna ask. You have the upper hand if you already know that they're gonna ask this.
So you got the opportunity to prepare. So I have a question. So say like, you know, how do you deal with not even wanting to spend time with your own family? Like, what if you live with them, you don't even want to be with them? Like, how do you deal with that? Because it be like that sometimes.
It do.
Like you don't want to deal with them at all.
Yeah, like you like to be to yourself, or like, you know what I'm saying? and you can't get away from them. You know what I'm saying?
You can't, or you can, and you're choosing not to.
But what if like
That's a choice.
what if I live with them? I can't just on this Christmas or Thanksgiving.
You can't, or you choosing not to. Which one?
How can you
I
get
don't
away
like the
from
word
them?
can't, if you haven't noticed.
How can you get away from
thinking
them?
about it as an adult who lives with their parents or as a child? Because kids
Right.
literally can't get away.
There's really no.
Okay, let's do it from both aspects. What if you maybe like a teenager and you really don't want to be around your family? Then let's do it from an adult aspect.
So from a teenager aspect,
Mhm.
they really have no control over that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, poor baby.
I mean, it really depends on their dynamics.
Mhm.
Maybe they do have some control where they're like, okay, you compromise with your parents. I'm going to eat here, spend a little time here, and then I'm gonna go to my friend's house and hang out and maybe have a sleepover or something. So it really depends on the family dynamics and how they are with their parents. Adult wise, you got that choice. If you're there every day, all day, and today you don't want to be there, catch you a bus,
Right.
drive in a car, catch you a flight, do something.
Go to Benihana.
And then you know they have some restaurants open on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Move
So-
around.
On the flip side of that, for people who don't have family that they can spend the holidays with, or who don't have a close-knit family, their family is torn, so they don't have somewhere they can go for the holidays, or they don't really have family, what should they do during the holidays? Like, yeah, what should they do to prepare for the depression that may arise during the holidays?
It's really important to start preparing for that ahead of time. Really don't wait till the holidays. If you know that that's your story, that's your life, where you don't have this knit family, you don't even really have many friends or support, you got to start preparing yourself as far as like maybe seek some counseling. Maybe if you can't seek counseling, go to some support groups. NAMI has free support groups. National Alliance for Mental Illness.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. So they have different locations and they have support groups to go to. Sometimes these different organizations do things during the holidays, as far as like food drives or just even having like holiday dinners for people who don't have it. And so there's a lot of resources, and we have our phones in our hands all the time. So Google it, look some resources up to find you some places to go so that you feel some type of peace.
I think that was good what you said, like food drive or something, volunteering, because volunteering feels good. So sometimes you may not fully be able to help your situation, but if you have the opportunity to help someone else, feel better on holiday, that can also bring you a sense of peace and contentment as well if you know you're helping someone else,
Right.
And also find, like you said, find an alternative, a different kind of activity, something you may have never done before to do something for the holidays. Kind of like what I said before, we feel this obligation, you said obligation to be a certain way or do a certain things on Christmas. Maybe try something a little non-traditional. Take a vacation. Hey, Jinx, you on your dollar. Take a vacation, go for a road trip, go to amusement park that's not open.
Disney World.
Disney, y'all. Okay, yeah, find something else to do. Yeah.
Really easy.
Do you have another question?
I want to talk about money and the financial aspects.
Set a financial budget and stay within it, because especially for all holiday activities, because we find ourselves spending more money than we should be spending. So you know this is coming up again. I have a close friend who loves to shop on Black Fridays. So
I know who you're talking about.
Right? So really check out the deals ahead of time. Set yourself a budget, and really you have to discipline yourself to stick to it. Otherwise, you won't be over here in the hole and credit and all of this, and just because you got some things that you probably could have done without.
Yeah, there's a lady that I met at a conference in Miami, and I started following her on Instagram. Hey Sissy, I think her name is. She's a financial advisor. She started a holiday budget plan in October, I think, to help people save $500 for the holiday.
That's good.
So that they don't have to go broke or miss bills. They try to save it early. So it's like if you're one of those people who do like to spend money, set a plan. You know all year long you're gonna go ball out.
You do.
So in June, start being like, okay, I'm gonna set aside $50 a paycheck. So come December, I have X amount of dollars to ball out on friends and family.
Exactly.
I also think, one, we should tell ourselves no, and if you're a parent, tell your kids no, or tell whoever no.
Yeah.
You don't have to always get somebody a gift.
Yeah.
Even if it's maybe give them $5-10 a gift card. Write them a poem, give them a hug, tell
It's
them
the
you
thought.
love them.
It's the thought. And even though sometimes, of course, children don't want that thought, it's still a way that children understand. You can have a conversation with your children. Of course, there's a lot of pressure, again, social media, outside stuff. They go to school, the kids are getting all this, talking about what they want for Christmas and how they're going to get this. And you might have one that can't get anything. So, and also with resources, if you know you can't afford certain things, there are plenty of organizations who love to give around Christmas time and Thanksgiving. And you can sometimes make a list and you give it in and they may get you some things. Churches as well.
Angel Tree.
Angel Tree Ministry, yes. My church does that.
There's the Blue Santa that the firefighters. Firefighters, that's funny. Yeah, they do Blue Santa. And like you said, churches.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to say about the holidays, what our family, my immediate family started last year was Secret Santa. So instead of trying to buy everybody a gift, we picked one person, and that actually worked out really well because then you got to ball out on one person. My brother bought me a $100 Southwest gift card.
There you go.
Greatly appreciated.
Yes.
I love flying.
Yes.
And another thing that we do is that all my family gets to get together and do. My grandma started this or Aunt Ethel, one of them started this white elephant party. And so when I got married, we incorporated my husband's family too. So it's like a huge party of 40, 50 people. But everyone brings one gift. It's a white elephant. We have a limit. Your max is $20. So nobody's out here, showing out their white elephant gift. And it's a fun game that we can play. And it's a great holiday party. And we try to do it before Christmas. So it's like those traditions you can do. Lower the pressure. Because now I don't feel pressure to buy everybody gifts. It's like the kids. That's the only people we care about now. Kids get gifts.
I agree. That's a good one.
I think we should tell ourselves no too.
Yeah, we get bad at telling ourselves no.
It's good to, get yourself something, treat yourself.
Yes.
But don't do it as well where you, like you said, putting yourself in debt or giving yourself bad credit or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think, we have all this stuff going on through the year and we're like, oh man, I got to treat myself like during this time, because I've been through all of this. But I think it's good to tell yourself no.
Definitely working during, really work up. If you can take some extra, hours or doing this, and you want to have that work during it so that you can afford these things financially.
Because retail is always hiring. Amazon are hiring a lot during the holidays.
They are. Yes, they are.
So I guess another question then is, we talked about family for the most part, but what do you do about coworkers who are feeling the stress of the holidays? Other people not in your close circle who you still have to interact with. Because people get crazy.
They do.
Maybe that's not the right way to say it. People get all kinds of ways.
Disgruntled
during the holidays.
A little off their beam there. Remove yourself. Honestly, do you have to talk to these coworkers on a regular? If it's something you have to talk to them about, then do it. Keep it pushing. Honestly, don't really place yourself. If you can actually avoid not having to be around the people, do it. If you can't, make it minimal.
Minimize.
Yes. How are you doing holidays?
How do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the holidays. I don't care about decorating. I don't be balling out. I love the energy and spending time with family. And I think growing up, what am I going to say? Disadvantaged, as people like to say, we didn't have a lot of gifts anyway. There was no balling out at the house. We barely had a tree.
Right.
So I think because of that, I didn't get wrapped up in the materialism of the holidays. Because all we had was family. So that's the part I love about it. Spending time with family, eating good food, baking cookies. We could go see a holiday movie every year. For Thanksgiving and Christmas, we go see whatever movie comes out. And it's just, that is what I love. So
I think that's important. We get caught up in the gimmicks and the materialization of the holidays. We get caught up in the stuff, and then especially as when we're younger, we're definitely caught up in the stuff. And like I remember the craze over them little hoverboard things that everybody was getting, but like nobody talking about it no more. So I think it's important that we have to see the value in what we're getting. Why, even for ourselves, why do we want this? Why are we getting this? Even when we're buying gifts for other people, we gotta find the value in it. Like we said, we don't go into debt, we don't stress ourselves out, create anxiety, and really understand. I think really take the time to ask ourselves, why are we doing what we're doing? I think why is the biggest thing when it comes to the holidays.
And we gotta kind of remember that the holiday blues are short term because it's holiday. I mean, yes, you may have blues throughout the entire year, but sometimes holiday blues can be intensified. So we just gotta remember it's kind of short term. Take it day by day, week by week, because it'll pass. We're gonna go to the next year, and then you have a whole year to prepare again for these holiday blues. So it's something to keep in mind.
So speaking on the holiday blues, is there like an increase in people like attempting suicide or being checked into like mental health facilities during the holidays? Is that increased?
It does, because again, that comes with that depression. That comes with that anxiety. It just comes. People sometimes can't cope. They don't know how to handle it. And the holidays, like I said earlier, intensifies it. You know, even though it's short term, it intensifies it. Like losing a loved one is definitely hard during the holidays, especially that first year, like I mentioned earlier. It's very hard. And if you really can't pull on the strength of just one, if you have faith, two, your coping skills you already had ahead of time, or you know, just pulling on some strength or support system, you can dig yourself into that hole and just no longer be seen. And it's like, well, why am I still here? And you want to get rid of this pain, and the only thing that you can think about getting rid of the pain is dying. So it intensifies because it's holidays. And again, social media, all the marketing, all the ads, it's strictly friends, and family, everybody's so happy. When you over here sitting at the table when there used to be two, now there's one.
That's so sad. So of course there's a suicide prevention hotline, and if someone's not ready to go to counseling, what would you recommend they do to at least learn to cope during that time?
Maybe see their doctor, talk to their doctor about it. Maybe they need that push if they're not ready to go to counseling. Maybe I'm not a huge fan of medication, but sometimes it's needed. So maybe they need to go and talk about getting something to regulate their mood a little better if they're just really not ready to seek counseling. Talk to a friend, call the hotline. They have plenty of hotlines where you don't have to see anybody. And if they don't know you from Adam, so you talk and get some support.
I
was just gonna say the support group thing that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, because you got people who are going through the same thing as you, and just to add on to that, that's why it's so important not to isolate yourself. Because like you said, you're gonna dig yourself in that hole. You're gonna drown yourself in your own emotions and thoughts by being by yourself.
Correct.
So it's better just to put yourself in a place and atmosphere with people who can relate to you. And y'all can have that common ground and talk and really deal with it. And I think a lot of people tend to isolate themselves and try to get through it with themselves, but themselves is their biggest issue.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people don't like to be a burden. They feel like if, oh, woe is me, and I feel like I'm burdening them, and they have their own problems. But that's what people are here for. You know, we support each other.
Yeah, and I tell my friend, unrelated to mental health, but I told one of my friends that if you don't ask for help, you're taking away that person's power to help you. You're telling them no for them, but you don't know what they're willing to do if you just ask. And that goes for like asking out for help. Just call someone to talk. I have friends that would be like, "Hey, I just need to vent." Cool.
It is.
Cool. If you don't have friends like that, reevaluate your friend circle and call a hotline in the meantime. They will always let you vent, and that's all you need to do. But
they will.
Right. You got any questions?
No, I got nothing else.
All right. Do you have any last tips or words of counseling and wisdom?
If you feel yourself getting into those holiday blues, seek some help, whether it's from somebody professional, or a friend, or a hotline, or a support group.
Mhm.
You know, just really, you have the upper hand.
Mhm.
So don't sit in it. Walk through it.
I do have one more thing to say. You can't please everybody during the holidays.
Right.
So don't feel the pressure to please everybody.
Yeah.
When it comes to buying gifts or spending time with your family, don't put all that pressure on yourself to feel like you have to do anything, like it's an obligation. It's like mandatory. It's voluntary, really.
It's all voluntary.
And somebody may be mad at how you may have done something or didn't do something. That's their business. That's not your fault. So don't feel that pressure to please everybody, because not everybody's going to be pleased.
It is okay
Yeah.
to put yourself first.
Yeah.
It's okay to say no. Say it nice and firm. In an assertive manner, not an aggressive manner.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you,
Thank
Miss
you so
Tiffany.
much.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed you guys. This
Yes.
is good. This is really good.
So we're gonna put the resources that we talked about in the descriptions on the podcast and on YouTube for people who may need it. Also, if you this is just a bonus episode, but if you have any ideas for any episodes you want to, for any topics you want us to talk about in 2020, let us know. You can leave a comment on YouTube or send us an email at heysissypodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe and like our videos on YouTube. Thank you for joining the Hey Sissy podcast. Happy holidays.
Happy
and we
holidays.
pray that you all have a great holiday, whether you spend it with family or you avoid them altogether.
All right. Be breezy.
Bye.